Vinesh Phogat apparently was found slightly overweight, and that's the breaking news that we are getting after winning her medal. Let's talk to experts about what it really means for Vinesh. She was found 100 grams overweight. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the time when she won the medal, and then my colleague Meha Bharadwaj Olter will join us to take us through it. Chair, ma'am. Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified, coming as a great shocker for all of us here who were celebrating from last night. This is the first woman who was almost reaching the finals of the Olympics, first Indian woman, of course, but now she was found 100 grams overweight and therefore no medal for Vinesh Phogat in Paris. That's the big breaking that we are getting right now. Vinesh Phogat found overweight. She was 100 grams overweight, and this has been found now after she won the medal. Heartbreaking for thousands, lakhs actually, of fans across India, those who were celebrating it yesterday. So now no medal for Vinesh Phogat. A lot of problems, I think, a lot of controversy around, about weight and also other issues which have cropped up in Paris Olympics this time. This was one beacon of hope for all of us who were in a celebratory mood starting last night, and now we are hearing no medal for Vinesh Phogat in Paris. And joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Meha Bharadwaj Olter, who actually takes a very close look at sports and does her own show, of course, in the evening. Let me ask her, I know that Heartbreak is the first big headline that all of us are seeing on the screens, but apart from that, what does it mean, etc., etc.? Hi, Meha. Heartbreaking, I mean, such a disappointment.
Absolutely, in a complete twist of fate. Just when we thought Vinesh Phogat could become the first Indian woman wrestler to win a silver or a gold at the Olympics, the news we're getting from Paris is that she has been disqualified. This is by far the worst news I've heard in these Olympics for an Indian wrestler, for a country of 1.4 billion people who've been waiting, and especially in the way she performed. I mean, the story of Vinesh Phogat itself is the most compelling story in Indian athletics, and now in a complete anticlimax, what we are hearing is Vinesh Phogat has been disqualified because she was overweight. Remember, she had shifted from the 53 kilogram category to the 50 kilogram category because she earlier, or her pet category was the 53 kilogram one, but Antim Pangal had qualified from 53 kilograms, so she had brought her weight down and she was competing in the 50 kilogram category. I'm being told by my sources that she was 2 kgs overweight last night. Now, in one of the shows earlier today, we were talking to a wrestler, Dronacharya awardee Sujit Man, who was telling us what it takes for a wrestler to maintain his or her weight. It is very, very crucial that they are found to be in that weight category. If they are overweight, even by 100 grams, you're going to be disqualified, and that's exactly what happened with her. After her bout last night, she was weighed and she was 2 kilograms overweight. She was told that she needs to reduce weight. So all night, this is not something that, this is the first time it's happening to our wrestlers. Wrestlers tend to sweat the weight out, they cycle, they jog, and they try to get their weight down to the permissible limit. Unfortunately, for Vinesh Phogat, she couldn't bring it down to under 50 kilograms. She was 100 grams overweight and now has been disqualified, which means now that she's not even going to be eligible to get the silver medal. Disqualification means no medal for Vinesh Phogat. So in this particular category, you will only get a gold medal for the American who was going to be grappling with her tonight, and then a bronze medal. And Vinesh Phogat will come back home empty-handed. I've been also hearing this, that since last night, they've all been working hard to get her to reduce weight. And it's not so simple. these athletes are supremely fit. Elite athletes anyway, there is no fat, it's only muscle. To get your weight down is a really difficult task, and especially if you're 2 kgs overweight, then to get it down to 50 kgs was going to be difficult. And this is the biggest anticlimax really for all of us. You know, in the morning you come to work thinking that you're going to celebrate this wonderful woman's medal, but it wasn't to be. And so yes, the news is heartbreaking. In a complete twist of fate, as I've been saying, Vinesh Phogat disqualified from the 50 kilogram category wrestling final after she was found to be overweight. She was overweight by 100 grams, and which was 100 grams more than the permissible limit.
All right, and Meha, thank you for bringing us up to speed. Indeed, very heartbreaking, extremely disappointing. And now my colleague Kartikeya Sharma joins us live from the newsroom. Kartikeya, really, what an excellent last night was so beautiful, and this morning we wake up to her being disqualified. Meha said all attempts were made, of course, to make her lose weight, but Meha made a very good point, and that being that these elite athletes have no fat, it's all muscle, and it's a gargantuan task actually to lose weight. So no medal for Vinesh Phogat. Kartikeya.
Sudha, just let me read out the official release that has come. It says it is with the regret that the Indian contingent shares news of the disqualification of Vinesh Phogat from the women's wrestling 50 kg class. Despite the best efforts by the team through the night, she weighed in a few grams over 50 kg this morning. No further comments will be made by the contingent at this time. The Indian team requests you to respect Vinesh's privacy. It would like to focus on the competitions on hand. Indian Olympics Association. Now, this raises a couple of questions, best answered by Meha. You know, Meha, weight has to be watched. It has to be maintained. The question is that how come this became a matter of oversight on the part of those who were training Vinesh, because you map your weight every day in competitions, and competitions defined and divided by weight, it's an important thing. So where will the buck stop here? Meha, where will the buck stop?
Kartikeya, I think it's the question that all of us are asking, that how can she be 2 kgs overweight right after the bout? I mean, here is somebody, and these wrestlers have to be very careful, Kartikeya. I was talking to a few other wrestlers, and they said, you know, weight management is a huge thing in wrestling, and that's why, I mean, even to get down from a 53 kilogram category to 50 is big. She was living on morsels. She had stopped eating chapati some time back. I was being told that she was on a liquid diet till the very end to maintain her weight. For her to be 2 kilograms overweight just goes on to show that it's not so simple. It's not just losing the fluids, or it's not just, let's limit the intake of salt and we are going to come to the weight level that is needed of us. This means that these athletes, given the kind of supreme fitness that they are in, given that they have, a very small fat percentage, is a very difficult thing to do. Having said that, as difficult as it may be, I am still shocked by how this has happened. I've never seen this happen before. Internationally, I'll have to look at it, but in Indian context, I've not seen this happen in international tournaments, especially not, a tournament as huge as the Olympics, to have an Indian athlete being disqualified because she was 100 grams overweight. I am, of course, going to be getting more and more information, and I'm going to share it with you. But to me, this seems like somebody obviously needs to, hold up for why this happened. Yeah.
Meha,
yes.
Is it correct on my part to say that this isn't the first time Phogat had found it tough to make it to the weight in the 50 kg category, a low one compared to the 53 kg where she usually competes? That's the question one to you, Meha. And the question two to you is it also because, you make the athletes operate on the margin of the weight boundary?
No, absolutely.
To fit into those categories,
No, absolutely. I've heard this before, Kartikeya, where, I've heard of wrestlers, even last Olympics, I remember, and even in Rio, where if a wrestler was overweight, you sit with blankets on you, you're awake all night, you're either jogging, you're walking. So it's something that that happens with wrestlers the night before the bout. It's not, you know, it's not a one-off. But what I have never seen is that not being controlled. So clearly, Vinesh was overweight by a distance. And that meant that even despite trying to lose that weight, she still was above the permissible limit, and you know, she had to be disqualified.
Will it be correct on my part that is it because that the federations want these athletes to fix into a weight category? For example, if it was difficult for her, as you said, to fix into that 50 kg category, so you're making that wrestler operate at the margin of, like, for example, 200, 300, 400 grams or a kilo. I mean to say that then you open up the possibilities of disqualification. The seeds are sowed in the training process.
Also,
No, I think, yeah.
Sorry, Neha.
No, I just think, Kartikeya, this is, the weight category is decided much earlier. The weight category is decided when you realize that you are going to be able to qualify in that particular weight category because somebody else is already qualified for another one. See, her pet category was 53 kilograms. That's the category that she competed in Rio and in Tokyo. But then Amit Pangal, another wrestler, qualified for these Olympics in the 53 kilogram category. And she has a bout later today, Antim Pangal. And because Antim Pangal was in that 53 kilogram, she had already qualified. Vinesh had no choice but to bring her category down to 50 kilograms so that she could qualify in another category.
Yeah, I had a question. I'm getting it on WhatsApp. Someone wants me to ask you that, aren't they weighed just before they go for the bout? I mean, wouldn't that be? No, they're not.
They're weighed the morning after a bout, and they are given a certain amount of time till which they have to make sure that they are in that permissible limit. She was given all night, and she was weighed in the morning, and she was overweight, and they decided that this is it. So there is a cut-off time. Everybody is weighed at that time, and it was
It's
decided.
not before you go for the bout.
Not right before you go for the bout. On the day of the bout, at a particular time, you're told you will be weighed at this time. Please do come in for your, checkups, and that's when you go and get yourself weighed, and that's how you decide.
You know, we're seeing India lodges protest against the disqualification. Of course, we'll get more on that. But do you recall any such huge disappointments that have happened in the past, or is it the first time? And this is the first time that it's happened.
Absolutely, I've actually never seen this kind of disappointment, and in fact, I would want them to get us to connect with Sujit Man, and he can tell us more about what it takes to manage the weight. So if we can get, Sujit Man was with us earlier on the show, on our special show on Vinesh Phogat, and he explained it to us very well. So he can tell us more details, and in fact, tell us what is needed for an athlete, for a wrestler to maintain her weight. But as of now, the news is that she's been disqualified, and that and this is what the IOA has said in the statement. It says, it is with regret that the Indian contingent shares news of disqualification. Despite the best team efforts by the team through the night, she weighed in a few grams over 50 kilograms this morning. No further comments will be made by the contingent at this time. The Indian team requests you to respect Vinesh's privacy. And I keep coming back to this point. How is it even possible? I can't wrap my head around the fact that an Indian athlete, that a country that tries so hard to win a medal has an athlete who's in the finals and who gets disqualified because of weight problem. Yes, Kartikeya.
May I have a question for you? You in your conversation with Sudha, you were saying that they're weighed at a particular point of time.
Yes.
Now, when she was weighed, she was 2 kilos overweight on Tuesday night. How come that went unmonitored? I mean to say, you can weigh 300 grams more, 100 grams more. How can you be 2 kilos overweight 24 hours before your bout? How does that happen?
Absolutely.
And you don't gain 2 kilos overnight.
Yeah.
You don't gain 2 kilos in 2 days. You don't gain 2 kilos in 3 days. it is a process of accumulated process of at least 70 to 100 hours, or maybe 110 hours.
Yeah.
So how did that go unchecked?
It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. I can't seem to find an answer to that. And in fact, when I was talking to, people who are in Paris, reporters who are in Paris, and they said, I asked them, that's the thing. Did she have cake? What is it that somebody needs to have to be overweight by 2 kilograms a night before the bout?